in Athens, and what a scene it is. Kirby Smart has his dogs back on the field for the first time since the national championship game last year, and nearly 80,000 on hand to watch their SEC champions and watch the #1 overall recruit in all of college football, Justin Fields, really begin his quarterback battle with Jake Fromm, who of course was the freshman of the year, 12-2 as a starter for Kirby Smart, who deservingly so was the SEC Coach of the Year last year. And it is time for football here at Sanford Stadium. Bob Wischusen here with Todd Blackledge. Maria Taylor will join us in just a moment if you're wearing a red or black jersey. Nicole Hardman watches it sail through the back of the end zone. Georgia.
Well, it's one of those places that has just had tremendous tradition at that tailback position, and it looks to be continuing.
An interception thrown by Fromm. And taking it to the house is DeAndre Baker, who may be the most important player on the back end of this defense, as he gets a pick six of Fromm and puts the block team on the board.
You know, it's crazy. The play before, Fromm made a beautiful throw on the deep ball that was just dropped, and then this one got away from him. A little bit too high for Nicole Hardman. Maybe a little miscommunication with his slot receiver, and a nice job being there in the right spot by DeAndre Baker.
Fromm looking for the home run. Riley Ridley. Does he have it? It's a battle. Who's got it? Incomplete. Ridley lost hand-to-hand combat with Tyreek McGee, and Ridley's shaken up. That looked about as good a throw as Jake Fromm could have made.
Well,
3rd down and 9 for the first-team offense against the first-team defense. And Fromm, high throw over the middle, almost picked off again. Well read by Richard LeCounte as he jumped the route. Now it'll be 4th down and 9.
It was a high throw because of the inside pressure. Jake Fromm was not able to really drive into that throw, and the ball sailed on him.
We're going to have to step up this year. You know, the Ledbetter starting on the D-line. You have linebackers like Tate Natrez, Jawan Taylor, those type guys. Outside cornerbacks, defensive backs, you have, you know, J.R. Reed, DeAndre Baker. So I feel like all those guys will definitely step up, and I think they're ready to take on the challenge.
I know it starts with Kirby Smart. You got to take us into the mind of that head coach, what it's like being in meeting rooms with him, and what he added to this Georgia football program to allow you guys to make it to a championship game.
I would say he's very intense. You know, he's intense, and he's energetic, and he's powerful about everything that he does. And it's great when you're playing for someone like that and knowing that they bring their hard hat to work each and every day. So, you know, going up against him each and every day, he's going to push you to your best, and it was awesome actually playing for him. I loved it.
All right, well, we'll be watching you in the draft. So what are you going to do when you hear your name called? What you got?
I have no idea, but I'm excited.
All right, Rose excited down here, guys. Back up to you.
Maria, he will not have to wait long to hear his name called.
He was such a fun guy to watch play last year, Bob. The thing that stands out to me, very similar in this way to Reuben Floyd the year before at Alabama. He's so fast. He runs from sideline to sideline, blitzes the quarterback, plays at such a high speed level at the linebacker position, reads things quickly, and gets to the ball quickly.
There's a deep ball thrown on time by Stetson Bennett to Trey Blunt, who was able to wall off the coverage and make a terrific catch and bring it down to the 31-yard line.
A lot of football games here at Georgia, and you just don't replace that in one spring football season.
Tipped ball, incomplete on 3rd down.
The talent is there. There's young talent that you know is as good as some of the guys that they lost. Now Roquan, he's at a different level. He's a top 5 to 7 pick in the NFL draft. But the other guys they lost, they've got guys just as talented, but they don't have that experience, and guys are going to have to step up and play different kind of roles this year.
Aren't many coaches, though, that have the security blanket at place kicker that Kirby Smart has, but Rodrigo Blankenship is a terrific collegiate place kicker. Was a semifinalist last year for the Groza Award. He's going to try one from 41 here. 20 of 23 last season. And he avoids the announcer. Jensen hooks it through and gets the red team on the board. It's been a very competitive first half with just under 5:20 to go here in Athens at the Georgia Spring Game.
came up with a huge defensive play right after that.
Long throw to Jason Stanley is there for Fromm. It's amazing. You spend your entire season all the way through spring practice, your spring game, your summer camp, all the way through the regular season. You win the SEC title, and a sidearm pass that glances off of the defensive lineman's helmet may be what keeps you from winning the national championship.
Well, a pretty good throw by the freshman quarterback by Alabama at the end of the game, too. But that was a critical turn of events there in the third quarter.
Harrion, first down. Black team thinks he lost the football. Jonathan Ledbetter out there to help on the stop.
You know, we're not seeing DeAndre Swift, who is going to be the heir apparent at the running back position. He's a bigger back than either one of the guys that we're seeing carry the football today.
Fromm to the tight end, Nauta again. Another first down.
The thing about DeAndre Swift, too, that's interesting is he had more receptions last year as the third back than Sony Michel and Nick Chubb had combined. He had 17 receptions. The two of them only had 13 catches together.
Fromm to Harrion, who's been a very good pass catcher so far here in the first half, and he is close to another first down to the 22.
Explosive plays. It's about decision making and getting your team in the right play or out of bad plays. And that's where he has the upper hand right now. A year ago, 3 for 3 in the championship game, career high 55-yarder against Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl. This guy was automatic.
And he stays automatic here in the spring game, knocking another one through to make it a 1-point game with a minute and a half to go.
26, 19 of them in the early signing period.
Justin Fields, touch throw down the sideline on third down, and breaking tackles is Jeremiah Holloman, and he's out of bounds at the 2-yard line. That's a gain of 36 on third down and 8.
Beautiful throw in between the corner and the safety. This is a touch throw. Drop it in between the two defenders on the outside. Really well done by Justin Fields.
Now a flag is down, as is an official's hat. So let's see what the call is. Did Holloman go out of bounds?
There's no foul for illegal touching. The receiver was forced out of bounds, came back in and completed the catch. First down.
So the officials get together and rule it a force out, which allows Holloman to come back in and catch the football. So it's first and goal at the 2-yard line. Prather Hudson bulldozes his way into the end zone for a touchdown for the Black Squad.
Really nice drive that time. Out of the locker room. Start the third quarter. Justin Fields leading the way. Prather Hudson with a couple nice runs. You have to respect, even though you're not tackling the quarterback, you have to respect his fake on that zone read type play. And Prather Hudson able to take it inside for the touchdown. Of getting away with a mistake,
right?
Because they're not going to make you pay. At this level, mistakes get pounced upon.
There's a trick play, underthrown and intercepted by Jason Stanley. Or check that, Richard LeCount. They tried the end-around jet sweep option pass, and Richard LeCount sat on it and picked it off.
Well, they had a receiver. I think Jason Stanley was open, and Hardman just not able to get enough on the football. See, you could see Stanley had a couple steps on the defense. It was well blocked. He had time, just underthrew it.
Third down. Fields extending the play, and with speed picks up the first down. And he may have had more if this wasn't two-hand touch.
But not in special package type situation.
Third down, another bullet outside the numbers. A strike to Matt Landers for a first down.
When a guy gets jittery, his feet are jittery, and his vision really narrows at the quarterback position.
Now a throw with touch to the back corner of the end zone. Hauled in by Landers. That's a
That is a beautiful throw, and that's knowing your personnel. Matt Landers is 6'5". So you throw that football to the back pylon high, and only your guy can make the catch. If he doesn't catch it, it's an incomplete pass. You cannot make a better throw than Justin Fields did right there to his tallest receiver.
Boy, the touch throw down the near sideline on third down, a touch throw to the back corner of the end zone to go along with a few balls where he's really ripped it. He has shown more versatility in making different kinds of throws than I think we even expected to see. He's been really good.
He's been really good. This is about as good as you can do it. There's pressure in the face. Throw it to that back pylon. That's your aiming point. And Justin Fields rightly celebrates a beautiful touchdown throw. See, that offense will change a little bit.
3rd down and 10 after Fromm almost threw an interception for his second of the game, and now does, as he tries the deep in cut and ends up throwing a pick. That is the second pick of the game, thrown by Fromm. And William Poole jumped the route and picked it off. Todd, it is interesting, and Maria kind of brought it up. Obviously, one team winning somewhat lopsided. There's some turnovers. How does a coach look at the spring game? Glass half full, glass half empty. When there's a takeaway, he's got a defensive player making a good play, but that means his offense also turned it over.
Right. Well, and I think, and he told us this when we met with him yesterday, he wants to do whatever he can. If he's going to manipulate in any way, shape, or form, it's going to be to make it a close game. He wants the game to be competitive, to go down to the wire, and right now that means the red team has to come up with some big-time plays.
Christian Carute is now in at quarterback, a true freshman, and it looks like he has a 3rd down conversion for a 1st down. You know, even thinking back to when you were a player and you played in these games, what's the funniest moment you could think back to your experience at Penn State playing spring football and in the spring game?
Yeah, well, I've got a couple memories. One, as a player playing in the game, I can remember it was supposed to be really vanilla rules, you know, and all of a sudden the offense was having the upper hand, and pretty soon the defense started calling exotic blitzes, and the next thing you know, was looking out through my ear hole a couple times. But one of the best memories I have of a spring game, the very first one I played in, the spring of my freshman year, my grandparents, Warren and Dorothy Sakuchi from Canton, Ohio, they decided to come to the game. And that was a big deal for them, and they wanted to get there early. They didn't want to mess with the crowds and everything. So they were sitting in their seats about 3 hours before the game.
Wow.
It was a typical boring spring game, but they absolutely loved it. And from that time on, they literally drove to every single game I played for the next 3 years.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, they drove to Lincoln, Nebraska. They drove to College Station, Texas. They drove to 2 Fiesta Bowls. It became their whole life for 3 years. They got into almost a subculture of people that travel to watch a college football team. A whole new friend base, but that became such a big part of their life, and it all started with their trip to State College for a spring game.
They did notice the improvement in quality of the event, did they
Absolutely.
not?
Yeah.
It was no longer the spring game?
Yeah, they saw it all culminate in a national championship game against these Georgia Bulldogs.
Exactly.
In the Sugar Bowl. So, yeah, they saw a little bit of everything.
It is Stetson Bennett still in a quarterback. Spring game for the announcers as well, as Bennett steps up in the pocket and fires a deep out route intended for Matt Landers. Incomplete. So that will make it 4th down.
I remember when I was playing at Penn State, and I think it was my junior year, and we were playing, or maybe I think it was my junior year, and we were playing Boston College at home, and we were beating them pretty bad, and late in the game, they put a new quarterback in just like this, number 22.
Oh.
And I was like, you know, what in the heck? Who's this guy wearing 22? He threw 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, and we still beat him bad. The next year, he threw for 560 yards against our defense on our national championship year. Doug Flutie.
And that Heisman Trophy would eventually find its way to Chestnut Hill with Doug Flutie as Buse misses from long range. Our final break, 21-6, the block on top of the red here in Georgia. Started 28 consecutive games through the championship game last year as Fromm looks for the deep ball from Mecole Hardman. Just off the mark, but it should be a pretty good wall up front when SEC play begins.
Well, their starting line should be good, and you know what? they've got depth. They've got 9 or 10 guys that can play. They recruited a couple high-level guys. That's beautiful protection right there. You mentioned Galliard. The other key guy is Andrew Thomas, who was the starting right tackle as a freshman last year. They flipped him over to left to take the place of Isaiah Wynn, who will be a high draft choice next week also. The real competition, Thomas proved himself last year. The competition will be for the right tackle spot.
Fromm is going to go down. That'll be a sack and a loss of a couple.
Right now they're hoping that Isaiah Wilson might be that guy that can step up. He is an impressive-looking physical specimen. Get the ball back to Jake Fromm in your offense with good field position. See if you can put some points on the board.
And Fields tries to fit one into a tight window up the sideline. Intended for Tyler Simmons, incomplete. Eric Stokes was there with Trey Bishop to sandwich on the coverage.
Eric Stokes has great speed. He's gained some weight in the last year. You could see him stride for stride with the receiver. Got that hand in on the football to knock it away. He's a young guy they're thinking can really help him at corner because of that speed.
So Fromm will go hurry up and he'll want it all. The deep ball on first down, broken up inside the 5-yard line. Again, terrific coverage from Richard LeCounte as he was able to close the distance before Riley Ridley could haul it in. 4-man rush on 3rd and 10. Fromm sidearms one. Elijah Holyfield makes the catch, but barely picks up 2, maybe 3 yards, so it's 4th and long.
And they got to go for it.
And they're trying to get set as quickly as possible with 4:45 to go. Slant. And breaking a tackle as Riley Ridley's got the first down. That is a 4th down conversion for the red team. Black team rushes 5. Fromm well protected. That ball batted down at the line. It'll be 4th down and 2. So another chance for the black defense to get a stop as Julian Rochester was able to leap and knock it down at the line.
It was a nice play by Rochester. He knew he wasn't going to get to the quarterback. He was kind of locked up, but he kept his eyes on the quarterback and timed his jump, got his hands up to knock that football down for an incompletion.
Fromm recognizes the blitz coming, changes the play at the line, and it's still tipped on a leap. The blitzer from the outside was J.R. Reed, and he knocked one down at the line, and the black defense gets a turnover on downs with 3:27 to go.
4-minute drive here.
And before we say goodbye, here's a 3rd down and 4. 4-man rush. Perfect throw to the sideline, on time again for Justin Fields. Boy, he has looked very solid in front of a big crowd here at the Georgia Spring game, which will continue on ESPN3. But coming up now, we'll turn things over to SportsCenter. Log on to ESPN3 to see our Georgia Spring game. So long from Athens. Or a play-action pocket presence like Fromm. Well, which guy fits that schematically better?
Well, I think that in today's world of college football, and I've said this for a long time, I think that you need one of 2 things at the quarterback position. You either better have a guy who is capable of playing on Sundays and can throw it that way. Doesn't mean he's got to be a starter, but can play at that level. Or a guy who's a dual threat, who is a threat in the running game. Obviously, Fields is more of a threat in the running game than Jake Fromm is. Fromm can run it and ran it with some success last year. But I also think we got to keep in mind what we're not seeing today in terms of the Georgia ability to run the football. We're not seeing DeAndre Swift. We're not seeing Zamir White, who's the 5-star recruit. We're not seeing James Cook, Dalvin Cook's little brother, who's coming in the summer. So the running back position and their ability to run traditionally is going to be a whole lot better in September than it is right now.
In spite of the score and in spite of the fact that the black team is comfortably in front, an opportunity for Kirby Smart to watch his freshman run the 2-minute drill, and now his freshman throws a pick. Fields tried to fit one in outside, and he's picked off by K.J. Smith
It's a long throw. You know, as strong as his arm is, when you throw from the left hash to the right sideline on a short route, that gives the defender a lot of time to break on the football. Wasn't a horrible throw. It just was in the air too long. And a nice interception that time by K.J. Smith.
So now with 1:49 on the clock and good field position at the 43-yard line. One more chance for Jake Fromm to try and score a touchdown before the spring game ends. And he's going to take a shot again for Riley Ridley. And this time, he drops it in for the touchdown. 57 yards.
He's been close on a couple today. He's put a couple out there that could have been caught. Ridley, remember, had the one in the end zone that got ripped out at the last minute. That time he's able to secure the catch and come up with a big touchdown. And 2 timeouts to work with. I think this is Kirby manipulating, giving his red team a chance.
That's right. He said he wanted it to be close at the end, and now they'll blow the whistle
and now they'll
call
use
it a sack. And that will be 1 timeout left for the red team with 1:25 to go and a chance to get the ball back.
Defensive line depth and just having enough guys to roll guys in and keep guys fresh. You know, really, when it was all said and done, as well as they played in the national championship game, for most of the game, they got worn down in the fourth quarter. And they weren't able to stop Alabama in the fourth quarter.
And they lost some guys from last year, even among that group.
They lost some guys. They've lost some guys in the spring here that they'll get back. So I think making sure they have that depth built up defensively at the line, in the line, is the biggest area of concern. I think they'll be great at running back once those guys are healthy. I think they're very strong at quarterback. I think they'll be fine at wide receiver.
Nicole Hardman took a shot from J.R. Reed, and a flag was thrown from the near sideline with 55 seconds to go.
I think leadership, too, is the other area that needs to develop, is the leadership.
And Kirby Smart may have been the one to say pick that flag up if they do.
There's no foul on the play for targeting. First down.
And I think Kirby Smart went in and said, boys, that was a good hit.
That was a clean hit in my book.
At the end that he wants to see. He told us he wanted this to be close at the end and wanted there to be a little bit of pressure, and he got what he wished for. From again to Holyfield, and Holyfield was looking upfield before he had the football.
Well, now you got 4th and 10. Seen that a few times today. A couple different receivers, that time a back out of the backfield. Guys just in a hurry to start running with the football before they make the catch. The eyes leave the football and turn upfield, and the ball ends up on the ground.
Fourth down. So one last gasp potentially for the Red Squad. As Fromm to the sideline, it's another drop for Holyfield. And he wouldn't have been anywhere near the first down regardless. So normal football, unless the coach wants to manipulate the situation again, this would be take a knee time for the black team and celebrate your spring game win.
I didn't understand that play right there. You see Jim Chaney and Jake Fromm talking about it on the sideline right now, but Jake Fromm's got to know better than that. That play had no chance even if he makes the catch. You got to go ahead, especially if you got a timeout or two in your pocket. You got to work the middle of the field, get whatever you can get the first down.
They still have Justin Fields lined up in the shotgun here with 30 seconds to go. And I guess reps are reps for a freshman quarterback, so why not let him play? He sidearms one to the sideline, caught by Prather Hudson. And we'll roll the clock down. Let's see if there is even another snap for the black team, or if they will start thinking about their steak dinner. Surf and Turf is on the way. And the clock goes to all zeros, and that will end the spring game here at Sanford Stadium. the number one defense played for the black team today, and they got a couple of takeaways that turned into 14 points. And as a result, the SEC champions losing a lot on defense, but their number one defense played pretty well today.
They really did, and Kirby told us the offense had kind of had the upper hand for most of the spring, but today, that first-team defense did its job.
21-13 the final here at the Georgia Spring Game. The black over the red. For Todd Blackledge, Maria Taylor, I'm Bob Wischusen. So long from Athens.